John, first question really is, how are things looking?
Well, you know, not a lot of change. It's good and bad. Cure its egg. It's good in parts, as always is. I think last time I was here was just before the OCR review in September. We held. I was pushing for a cut as usual. We've got an OCR coming up in the last one for the year, is early November, and hopefully we'll see that cut to a 1.75%.
You're hoping?
We're hoping. Certainly my view is we've seen the currencies in the low, early 70s rather than the mid 60s, so it's always painful for exporters, always painful for anybody selling overseas. So the challenge really is sort of, are we going to continue to expect inflation, or are we going to respond to the fact there is no inflation and put a bit more stimulus into the economy?
You like talking about post-truth politics.
Oh, and anybody who's watching what's going on in the North American election is it's just incredible. You know, facts don't seem to matter. People say what comes into their heads and seem to just press on. I didn't say that, and there's a tweet going next to the guy on the screen saying exactly what he said. It's just really surprising. But I guess what we have to ask ourselves, when facts cease to matter, what does that actually mean for political debate? So if I don't have to be right and I can just say what comes into my head that sort of suits the political slant I want to put onto things, is that really a place we all want to be? Because if we don't at least hold politicians to some level of truth or fact, then you know, life becomes a fiction, and it's very difficult for the people who don't have time to follow every last comment, to dig in, do the background reading, to come to a view. And so we just make a, you know, that's a better looking dog than that dog, you know, we just make a lot of sense.
Personal effects thing. I mean, with the states, we have to depend on the Senate, don't we?
There is a political system in the states that basically has a lot of checks and balances. And that's what a lot of the discussion around the Supreme Court appointment is. With a balance in the Supreme Court, the next appointee will probably tip the balance to the left or to the right. And so clearly the people who are left-leaning, let's use that as Democrats, who are in a position now to appoint a long-standing Supreme Court judge, effect the decisions over the next 15, 20 years, because they take a fair while to die off. And it is, you know, you are appointed for life or to the point where you resign. And that really does create that separation of state, having been appointed, from politics. In terms of the political system, Congress and Senate and President are all an interlocking checks and balances. So with a bit of luck, a Trump president wouldn't go completely mad, because there are checks and balances, but you know, somebody sat by that big red button, and you wonder.
This is the red button that everybody worries about.
It's 3 a.m. and I'm not very happy with the world. You know, I think that's a cartoon characterization. but there are that worries. You know, at the stand-up debate yesterday, it was, if I become president, I'm going to lock you up. This is quite a severe.
Very childlike, isn't it? Really?
Well, it is schoolyard. It is the sort of name call. You know, I've done some really bad, but he did something worse. You know, or it's quite a surprise that the level that we've sunk down to. Now we expect politicians to spin. You know, if you're in opposition and I'm in government, there's the economy. I talk about the good bits, you talk about the bad bits. I mean, that's what happens in politics. I guess we all have a responsibility to understand better. Otherwise we get played by the political commentary. And I hope we'll get a link up about a
Korean economist.
A Korean economist based in Cambridge, a guy's called Ha-Joon Chang. And the link takes you to a cartoon that talks about economics, a background in economics. If we all sort of, who are superficially engaged, would say, well, there's only one answer. We know what the answer is. We've had it for the past 30 years. We just keep going. You listen to this guy, there's more than one answer, and it's a lot less tidy than we might think it is.
I'm sure it is.